It's that time. You think it's time to get a suit. You don't know what kind, you don't know where to start because there are a million different types of suits out there in tons of different styles. It can be incredibly overwhelming if you don't have the slightest clue where to start. But that's why you clicked on this video and that's why you got me. For those of you who don't know, my name is Josh and today, my beautiful stylish friends, we're going to be talking about suits. Specifically, what kind of suit I think you should be getting as your first suit to be the most versatile and take you through as many situations that you could possibly come up with. Just before we kick off this video, make sure you smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps me sleep at night, helps me know that you like this content and that I'm not actually wasting my time. If I can help even one person, that will make my day so much better. So if I can help you, please help me back. It's a two-way street, you know? This is how life works. It's called give and take or something like that. Pretty sure I heard it somewhere. That's a saying that people say from time to time. Anyway, yeah, make sure you subscribe, smash that bell notifications icon so that way you know when I make a new video, and that just helps push this video out to even more people so that we can help out more people like you. Let's get into the video. Picture this, you realize you need a suit. You don't know what kind of suit. You walk into the store, it's one of the most expensive stores, even one of the cheapest stores in town. You walk in, you see all the suits, all the different colors, all the shapes, all the sizes, and you don't have a clue what to do. That's why you got me. This video is going to be covering some of the most little details that you're going to need to know when picking out your first suit. We're going to be trying to go with some of the most versatile options possible so that way we can try and save you a little bit of money and get you a suit that you can wear in just about any situation. We're going to start big and then we're going to go into some of the smaller details. The first thing that I think every guy is probably going to want to know, what color suit to get. Should you get black? Should you get gray? Should you get charcoal? Should you get navy? Should you get 30 other shades of navy? Should you get 50 other shades of gray? Who freaking knows, because there are so many options. Should you get a pink suit, maybe a green suit? I'm going to tell you, if you want a versatile suit that you can wear in any situation, it is going to be a charcoal gray or a dark navy blue. If you stick with these dark colors, you are going to be incredibly versatile and you can wear them in just about any situation, from a wedding to an interview, just about anywhere. You can rock a charcoal gray or a dark navy suit. These are the colors that you're going to want. If you want to look a little bit more mature, you want to look a little bit older, say you're a really young dude, you're probably going to want to go with a charcoal gray. If you're an older gentleman and you want to look just that little bit more youthful, rock a dark navy. At the end of the day though, it is personal preference. So whatever you want to do, go with either a charcoal gray or a dark navy blue, and now we can get into some of the smaller details. As far as any patterns are concerned, I would suggest staying away from them as much as you can in your first suit. I think they are absolutely amazing, but if you're looking at buying one suit that's going to be versatile in just about any set of circumstances that won't be incredibly memorable on its own, stick with a plain colored suit. You'll thank me in the long term. As your fourth, fifth, or sixth suit, definitely get something with a nice sweet pattern in there, something with a pinstripe, maybe a check, herringbone, anything. Get something with a pattern later on, but for your first suit, keep it nice, simple, and clean. The next feature of a suit that you're going to want to take into consideration is what type of lapel to get. If you want a versatile suit, just go with a notch lapel. It's going to be classic, it's going to be timeless, and it's never going to go out of style. If you're trying something a little bit more daring, you could go with a peak lapel, you can see me wearing here, but it's just a little bit different, it's a little bit more modern, a little bit more trendy, and there's a chance that it could eventually go out of style. I personally don't think it will, but if you want something that's just going to be a little less of a statement piece, go with a notch lapel, you're going to be a-okay. Shawl collars, avoid those at all costs unless you're doing a black tie event, in which case you're probably owning more than one suit because you're probably rich as f. Another thing on the topic of lapels is you can also opt for peak stitching, which is an option usually on custom clothing, but occasionally you can find it in off-the-rack suits. It's just a little detail that adds a little bit more pizzazz to your outfit, but it's not really crucial either way, and I would consider it personal preference. As far as lapel width goes, you just want something that is kind of in the middle. You don't want something that's super thick, and you don't want something super thin. If you're getting a super thin lapel, it's probably going to be a little bit more trendy, and it's not going to be very classic. Same thing goes if you're getting something a little bit thicker, you're probably going to look a little bit more old school, and it's going to be a lot harder to match with your ties. You want your lapel's width to match the width of your tie, so it's much easier if you just go with something in the middle, so that way you can fit most options correctly. The next piece that I think is a big one is you want to determine how many buttons to have on your jacket. Traditionally, you're going to see either 2-button configurations, 3-button configurations, occasionally a 1-button configuration, or a double-breasted jacket where it could have between 4 and 6 buttons. If you want something that's going to be classic, timeless, and never going out of style, and will fit just about every single body type, go with a 2-button suit. It's been around forever, it's going to be around forever. A 2-button suit is the most flattering on just about every individual out there, and it's going to be super easy to find in just about any store. If you like the idea of a double-breasted suit, you could probably do that, but I wouldn't do it for anything less than like your 4th, 5th, or maybe even 6th suit. If you want to go with a 3-button suit, I would advise against it unless you're like 6'5", in which case proportionally it would make sense. I wouldn't recommend going with a 1-button suit. It just doesn't look very good in my opinion. While we're on the topic of buttons, make sure we nail down this rule so that we know it and we don't look foolish. The sometimes, always, never rule. What I mean by that is if you've got a 3-button jacket, you can sometimes button the top button, personal preference. You're always going to button the middle button and you're never going to button the bottom button. This rule becomes the always and never rule if you have a 2-button jacket, because essentially you want the top button buttoned and you do not want the bottom button unbuttoned. These jackets are not meant for bottom buttons to be buttoned. No matter what you may think, that is just simply not the case. It doesn't look very good and it shows that you have no idea what you're doing. The other thing, when you're sitting down, make sure you unbutton all buttons. You just don't want that thing to pop off. You don't want it to look weird. Just unbutton it when you're sitting down and button that top button up when you're ready to stand up. The last thing as far as buttons are concerned, make sure you get buttons that match the rest of the suit and they don't actually contrast it too much. It may look nice for a 3rd, 4th, or 5th suit, but not for your first one. You don't want those buttons to be making that much of a statement that people are remembering you as that guy with those buttons every time you wear the only suit that you have. It just doesn't work. Just keep things simple. As for the sleeves, you can typically have functioning or non-functioning buttonholes. You're typically going to see non-functioning buttonholes on your cheaper suits, and it's generally going to be a sign of quality and a sign of an expensive suit when you have functioning buttonholes. Does it really make a difference? Does it really matter that much? In your first suit, I don't really think so. The next thing on a suit jacket that could be of note is your pockets. I'm not talking about your breast pocket because you're always going to have that. What I'm talking about is these pockets down here. You can get them in flap pockets, you can get them in slash pockets, and you can get them in patch pockets. That's a tongue twister and a half. This probably took me about 6-7 times to shoot and I'm so happy I just smoked that. I would recommend going with flat pockets because they're just the most versatile and the most simple. I would also avoid a ticket pocket as it's just an extra detail that you probably don't need on your first suit, and you're usually going to find that on custom suiting. Quick tip, make sure you take that stitching out so that way you can actually use them. Same thing with a breast pocket. Usually when you buy them in a store they come stitched up. Take that stitching out and put a pocket square in there. The last piece of a suit jacket that stylistically should be considered when you're purchasing your jacket is the vents on the back. Essentially, you can go with no vents, 1 vent, or 2 vents. Now, I would recommend that you should not touch 1 vent or no vent jackets. Simply put, a 2-vent jacket just looks the best. It is going to be amazing when you're walking and it's going to be the most flattering option. When you have a 1-vent jacket, it just doesn't look the same. It exposes your rear side when you're using your pockets and it's just not a very good look. As far as the no vents goes, it's just a little bit restricting and it's a little bit too European for my liking. Onto the pants. As far as jacket and pants go, make sure that the suit comes from the same fabric. What I mean is don't try and buy them separately and try and get them to match up. The colors are not going to be the same no matter how close you think they might actually be. Just get the suit and pants together. It's going to save you a lot of headache and save you from looking like shit. Yes, there is a little bit of style variation within your pants. However, I think there's a couple that you should really try and consider. The biggest one is whether or not you're gonna go pleats or no pleats. And I think this is a simple option for most guys out there. You're gonna wanna go with flat front pants, i.e. no pleats. It's just an old school look that I don't think has personally come back yet, and I don't know when it's going to. It might at some point, and some may argue me on this point, but for most people, it's gonna look the most flattering and the most modern if you have your pants in a flat front. The other thing with your pants is you can choose whether or not to have a cuff or no cuff. Now, if you're a really tall dude, I think it's completely personal preference, and if you want to go for a cuff, I say go for it. But for most gentlemen out there, I would opt against it, as it just gives you a little bit of extra bulkiness that I don't think you're looking for when you want a nice, clean suit. And that's all she wrote today. If you're wondering why I didn't cover any of the fit that you should get for your very first suit, I think that's a much more detailed video, and I think your tailor could probably help you out with that a lot more in person. I could make a video on it, and I'm more than willing to do so, so if you would like to, leave me a comment down in the comment section below, and I will get a personal fit video for suiting out for you. And if you disagree with any of my points in this video, make sure you let me know down in the comment section below, and we can discuss it. Maybe I'm wrong on something, maybe I'm right, maybe you agree with me, maybe you think I'm totally off base and I should never make a video again. Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to chat with you guys. If you'd like some extra style inspiration, make sure you follow me on Instagram at @TheFabulousJosh. There you can also get in touch with me a little bit easier if you're having trouble doing so in the comments below. Send me a DM on Instagram and we can be friends. I love connecting with you guys and I love hearing more about your personal style journey and how it's making you a better you. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, you know where to leave them. Make sure you have an amazing rest of your day. You guys are amazing, and now that you know that you're gonna crush it in your first suit, I want you to go out there and crush it. Have a good one, guys.